Playwright Lara Foot Newton joins us on the line now. Thanks very much for your time this morning, Lara. Your play has been described as hugely powerful. Are you surprised to find an extract of it at the centre of this controversy?
I am at this stage. The play's been studied for the last 6 years, and we've played the production to over 12,000 learners around the country. So I'm surprised that 6 years later this has come up.
Lara, it's being described in all the reports we have as an unseen extract. I'm not quite sure whether that means it hasn't been studied, but the impression that one gets is that this was something the students hadn't seen before.
Well, I have no idea. I mean, I'm the writer. I wrote the play, and the department approached me some years ago to use it as a set work, and I was delighted that they would engage with the topic and with the play. So I have no idea what the questions are in the exam paper. The one question that has caused the controversy, I feel, is rather an inappropriate question. I haven't been consulted as to how to teach the play or what questions to ask. But reading that question, I was a little amazed at how inappropriate it was.
What about the question do you find inappropriate?
I think it's very insensitive to the play, to the text. I think it's inappropriate for a drama student to have to answer that kind of question at that level. I think, one could take any text. One could take Othello suffocating Desdemona and say, what kind of character, or how would you make that actor be that violent? And one could say, well, that's inappropriate in this country to instill violence. So I think that whoever set the question paper might need to relook at what are they studying about this play.
Lara, one of the criticisms is that if the extract had been presented to students in a controlled environment where discussion around the issues was guided by a teacher, that it wouldn't have been quite so traumatic. It's the context that has caused this outrage.
The play, and that the play has been taught, and now that extract is being put to them in a Matric paper. I'm assuming that the extract didn't come out of nowhere. That if you put it in the context of the entire play, then one understands where it comes from. So I'm not sure how they could not have seen it if they're studying it.
We're also living in a very violent society where children are constantly exposed to sexual deviancy, pornography, sexual violence through many media. Are parents not overreacting by expecting a subject like dramatic art to steer clear of such harsh realities?
Well, I mean, of course, when you feign shock at something that is so prevalent in our country, then that is an overreaction, and it's, you're saying that I'm not part of the society where these things happen. But as I said, the whole play should be read, and it should be taught sensitively. So, if I was a parent in this situation, I would like to read the play. But I would also, as a writer now of this play, I would like to see how the education department are approaching the production and the play, and how it's being taught. And I would also like to see what kind of questions are being posed. Perhaps I could be helpful, because it seems that the question is inappropriate. And the question isn't whether, the play is appropriate for grade 11 and 12 learners. I think one should look at the question and not the play.
There's often the compulsion that dramatists feel or should feel to stay true to the truth of the text that the writer intended. Do you think the department in setting a question of this nature and perhaps in interpreting it in order to set a question of this nature has lost the truth of your play, is not being true to the intention of your writing?
Yeah, I think it comes from an ignorance. They're not understanding the play correctly to set that question.
South African playwright Lara Foot Newton, thank you very much for your time this morning.
News that moves. enca.com.